We're celebrating a big anniversary this year. It's the 100th birthday of Swiss author Friedrich Dürrenmatt. Friedrich Dürrenmatt was a very outstanding figure in Swiss literature and is until this day. His plays are still being shown around the world. His books are still being read by so many people every year. Up until this day, actually, no other Swiss author has been translated into more languages than him. So we think that this is a great opportunity to bring his thoughts and his words to an audience here in Western Canada. His first big hit internationally was called The Visit. It's a story about an elderly billionaire, a lady that returns back to her impoverished hometown to get revenge. She wants revenge over her former lover, and she offers 1 million Swiss francs to the town if they kill her former lover. So this was his first international hit. It made it even onto Broadway, actually. And this is also the base for today's play, The Ward. It inspired the writer Joel Mark Harris to go back to this town after 10 years after the murder of this ex-lover. And we examined the situation there, what happened in these 10 years.
Hi, my name is Joel Mark Harris. I am the writer of The Ward, and I was brought on to this production by Josiah's Chance. And after doing some research on the play, The Visit, I was pleasantly surprised at the dark sense of humor that the play encapsulated, and it was something that I really was drawn towards. Writing a one-man play was a big challenge because this is the first time I've actually attempted this, and it was, what I think the biggest challenge for me was actually moving the plot forward and having that character realize different aspects of what was happening, his own moral dilemma, but without having any interaction. And that's why I brought on the straw man, whose name is Fred in the play, and he created a foil for the character Linus.
The play The Ward is based on the world that Dürrenmatt has created with his play The Visit, and it takes place 10 years after the events of The Visit. So we find Linus, a former schoolmaster of a small town, in a mental hospital. He's been committed there for almost a decade now for a crime, the murder that his whole town should have been held responsible for. We go on a journey with him as he presents his case again to the doctors during his assessment, revisiting the events that brought him there. We're put in a position to make our own conclusions as we watch him plead his innocence, defend his truth, and ultimately fight for his sanity and freedom.
Oh, lies! I tell you! No.
So my name is Josiah. I'm the director of the play, The Ward, and also the Swiss in the team. This experience was very special to me, not only because we got to do an adaptation of Friedrich Dürrenmatt, but also working with Georgie and Joel again. We've worked on several projects together before, but this one was extra special and very intimate as well. This is not my first collaboration with the Swiss Consulate General. I had the opportunity to work on several projects prior as a director. It's really nice to see that, the Swiss Consulate General cares so much about arts in our local community and creates a space where Swiss and every culture can really gather and enjoy an art piece like that. I'm very grateful for that. One unique thing about the play The Ward was we only had one actor, a one-man show, and so we came up with an idea to add a secondary character, which is actually a straw man called Fred. We went through many different versions. Georgie de Bourras actually made Fred, and the character Fred became such an integral part of the play because it was the trust figure in the play for Linus. It was the person that he could really tell his biggest fears, talk about his challenges, his trauma, and probably the one thing that kept his sanity intact. And what I really liked about this particular play is the sanity of our main character. Is he sane? Is he not? What does sanity actually represent in today's society? When do we call someone insane? And that question is ambiguous till the end, and I think we left that up to the audience to decide.
You must agree that I'm not mad.
So one thing that I've really enjoyed about the space was that we were able to keep things very intimate. So I decided that having the audience as a secondary character would be a good approach. And In the play, Linus addresses the audience directly, and behind them, that's where the doctors sit. And so they are in between, just like in the middle, and are constantly are being talked to personally. And that creates something very unique for them. It creates a very personable experience where, in a way, they're participating.
Dürrenmatt's style is a blessing because it gives you all these tools of dark humor, and it frees you up to attack very serious issues with a light touch. There's this wonderful drinking song in the play that Linus just starts singing out of nowhere to have a good time, and Josiah's was wonderful. He recorded the song with a proper Swiss accent for me to try and, to the best of my ability, recreate, but I am having a blast singing it, I gotta admit. I dance with Fred and I sing it out loud, and it becomes a bittersweet thing at the end.
Yes. To be free and not worry about what other people think.
Fred is, I think, an extension of himself. He has constructed this straw man to be able to talk with himself, and by the end of it he realizes that in order to let go, he must let go of him too. And it's a wonderful friendship, I think, that happens over the 10 years that at the end we see dissolving.
I think Dürrenmatt really has this amazing ability in his text to transcend place and time. The questions that he asks really are relevant still in our society today. Questions like, does money buy justice? Do the ends justify the means? Or also, should science really explore everything that's possible or just everything that's ethical? So these questions about morality, ethics, about justice, about the role of the individual in the society are questions that he raised. And I think today's society is far from having resolved these questions. They're really still at the forefront of what we talk about. So that is why I think Dürrenmatt can be a great starting point to dig deeper. Of course, we wanted to bring this play to as many people as possible here in Western Canada, in Vancouver. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we had to keep it to a smaller audience here at the Swiss Residence in West Vancouver. But we are very happy that this is happening with such a great crew as well. People who really care about Dürrenmatt and who see the value in his texts. And I'm really glad that we can also bring it out to an audience, a broader audience, with this video.